Hello everyone. Today we have a good speaker of who had knowledge of AI. First of all, Mr. Dhaval Madaliya, who has a who has a degree holder in engineering of instrumentation and control, a technologist with over a 20 year of experience in tech world. He is an expert in data science and artificial intelligence also, leveraging cutting tools and to design transformating solution and solution. Joining joining us for US, we have also Mr. Nathan. Nathan is collaborating with Dhaval in since 2019. He holding a graduate degree in statistics and data scientist with professional with AI language together. They will share insight on building career AI and data science, the latest trend on benefits of benefits of this exciting path of AI. Let's dive into learn and the best. So today, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you, Karuna Foundation, for inviting us.
My first question is, what is inspire you to first career in this field? And artificial intelligence, how did you journey start?
I started my careers in 20 years back from Infosys, and at that time I was working on CRM systems. And as the career progressed, I moved to data-related activities, which involves data analysis, business intelligence, all that. Around 2012, I saw an opportunity in AI. At that time, AI was in very nascent stage. There wasn't much of a development being done in terms of finding new tools and all, but it was kind of within the reach of normal professionals. So that's when I saw the opportunity and I started working on getting trained and getting educated in AI.
Yes.
So I had my stint at John Hopkins University at Stanford Online, and I did my degree in data science and deep learning. And basically, my due to my interest in data and due to my expertise within analysis, I could quickly grasp on AI and its various tools that are being there.
Yes.
That's how I got into the AI
We have
business.
second guest in from US. I will ask to him. Mr. Nathan, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
So what is inspired to first career in artificial intelligence and become a data scientist?
I went to school for statistics, and what really sort of kicked off my interest, I took a class on data science
Okay.
in R programming language, and with all of the sort of new technologies and advancements, coming out,
Yes.
I think my interest in statistics sort of naturally went towards artificial intelligence and machine
Yeah.
learning.
So, Mr. Dhaval,
Yeah.
is a leader of an IT company, which is a called Arocom IT Solution.
Right.
How does your company contribute in a field on data engineering and AI? What is the unique service you provide by your tech company?
So, Aerocom is a very, very uniquely placed company in the space of AI, data engineering, and cloud computing.
Okay.
Basically, data engineering and cloud computing is the peripheral technology around AI. And Aerocom provides these services to its clients in US and Europe, who are into the divisions like R&D, who are into pharmaceuticals, who are into drug discovery, which is a typical kind of very complicated scientific approach. Okay. Um, the benefit that Aerocom or the well positioning of Aerocom is because of its domain knowledge. Also, all of my team, it has a very strong domain knowledge in specific business domains that we are working in. It may be drug discovery, it may be clinical trials, it may be manufacturing, it may be retail. Every person who's involved with Aerocom is kind of an expert not only on the tech side but
Mm.
also on the domain side. So that helps Aerocom in providing these services to these specialized clients in United States. And this is where our business is mainly focused on.
Okay. So what is the role of Mr. Nathan in this company?
Mr. Nathan is a data scientist, and typically, a data scientist comes as a very kind of the very first engagement whenever you want to do any sort of an AI initiative. Okay, a data scientist is more functional rather than technical on the side. But having said that, data scientist is capable enough to code in Python. He is capable enough to code in R any language. Okay, he knows the concepts of the data, but he is the person who knows the domain very well and who can convert the business requirements into techno and techno functional requirements. Okay, and because that is where the challenge lies. Usually, um, matchmaking between business and technology is the toughest part of the job. Okay, and data scientist comes in between.
Yeah.
He knows the technology, he knows how to implement it, and he knows what would be good and what would be bad for the domain.
Yes.
Okay, so whenever there is any AI sort of an initiative or project or product that is being launched, okay, data scientist is the first person to get engaged, and he is the first person to kind of figure out and create the features that would be required for the solution that we need for AI.
So he's a
So
start
he is
beginning for a solution.
he would be the face of the project.
Okay.
He would be the face of the
So he is taking a first step of for solution.
for identifying the solution. That's correct. That's correct.
So Mr. Nathan, hello.
Oh, yes.
So Mr. Nathan, what is what you can you describe what your role in this company, or describe more as data scientist, as a data scientist?
Yeah, so the role can be fairly broad, and I sort of have straddled the data science and data engineering side of things, but it goes from everything from handling data pipelines and designing the databases for the actual to pull your training data from, and then you're doing visualizations and quality checks to sort of evaluate the data for data quality, and sort of setting out the plan of features that you want to explore, and then you sort of start moving to the modeling and fine tuning that based on the how the model is doing.
Okay. So Mr. Dhawan, my next question is to you. What is artificial intelligence? What does data engineering? Why both technologies critical in this world or this particular time?
So AI is the buzzword right now.
Yes.
Okay, you'll be reading about AI lot many places. It's basically an artificially created decision making system. It has in this times it has a bit of cognitive skills that a human possesses, and it's a from the technology standpoint, it is a way of automating things. Okay, if you look at if you pick your phone, okay, it kind of has face recognition software, which is a part of AI. Your phone does not have the intelligence to figure out that this might be a face. Okay, for it, a book cover and a face both are same for the phone, but there is an algorithm inside which can know that okay, this kind of a pattern is a facial feature. Okay, so that is intelligence. Now this intelligence gradually got expanded into lot many things, in kind of figuring out lot many things, automating lot many things, and that together it became an AI. But AI inherently has its own parts. There is data involved, there is data analysis involved, there is exploratory data analysis involved, there is modeling, there is training, there is testing. There are a lot of pieces around. Okay, collectively you call it as AI. Data engineering is kind of a peripheral service around AI. Okay, because understand this, that the AI is 100% dependent on its data, and you would want to engineer the data to be at the level where you want it to be at the kind of quality you want it to be. Okay, so before feeding the data to AI, you have to make sure that the data is feasible enough to create an AI algorithm. That's where data engineering comes into the picture. Data engineering might be shifting data from this system to the other. Data engineering might be reviewing the data to figure out there are no duplicates. Data engineering might be automating the process of cleanup of data. The data engineering might be to convert the data types within the, there could be n number of things. Okay, so these two things go hand in hand. And at Aerocom, we kind of hold our client's hand, whether it's data engineering, whether it's AI. We give end-to-end solution. Okay, so it's not like for AI you come to us, but then data engineering you will go to market and find somebody who can do it. No, my AI engineer is kind of capable to look at data engineering task also. He can help our customers on performing those activities also.
So, Mr. Nathan,
Yes.
tell me brief, give me a brief about data engineering.
Yeah. So I think data engineering is a really critical sort of supporting part for developing artificial intelligence models. Um, as Dhaval said, it all depends on the data and a lot of it. So developing pipelines, to extract, transform, load data, from various sources and combine that into something your model can use, and then the compute resources needed to train these models are enormous. So setting up clusters of compute hardware to actually run these models and evaluate the training, the training sets is a huge part of this. So I think setting up that infrastructure and handling the data quality is really as big a part as the actual sort of
So
model
I'll
parameters and
I'll give
tuning.
you an example. Me and Nathan worked on one of the initiative together, which was identifying the gene expression. Okay, so what that means is that uh, uh, pharmaceutical companies, they do a research on finding medicine for certain disorders, and one of the mental disorders, it was trying to find a medicine, and for that the data that we got was various genes which are there in the brain cells. So there are different type of cells in everyone's brain, depending on the tissue
Yes.
that is there in the brain, and each cell has some sort of information. There is gene information associated with each cell type. And me and Nathan worked together, where I was part of the analytical side of that, and Nathan was part of the implementation side of that, where we created some informative interactive piece of work, where a person, after just feeding the data that this is the, let's say I'm looking for something like for Alzheimer's disease, or if I'm looking for something like Parkinson's disease, then Parkinson's disease, I'm going to take these brain tissues, then which gene is highly likely to get expressed, which results in Parkinson's disease. So that can be visually seen using a programming language called R. Okay, so Nathan created that dashboard. We were the people. I was the part of the team who planned that we wanted this way, and Nathan was the executor, saying us that this is how you can get it. So that is where this entire data of say a cell or a DNA or a gene kind of gets into various different systems, gets analyzed through various different algorithms, and that's how it kind of gives you the information that this gene is getting expressed in Parkinson's disease.
Oh, that's a great way
And
to.
that can that trickles down for other scientists to figure out what medicine we have to define, because this gene is getting expressed and this is causing Parkinson's disease, then what medicine do we need, what chemical compound do we need to use to treat this.
Okay, that's a great thing. And what the current trends in AI?
There are a lot of trends in AI. I would say you would be hearing about generative AI right now.
Yes.
Okay, so generative AI was again in a very early stage in last decade. In 2017-18, we used to have NLPs, okay, which is called it as natural language processing. So we used to have that where you feed it lot of language artifacts like documents, and from there it can learn how to speak. You would have seen some chatbots,
Yeah.
rudimentary chatbots initial. When you would do some banking transaction, you would see those chatbots. So they were there 2 3 years back, and that's how they could do it. You can get predefined responses to that. Like if you say hi, then it knows that yes, I have to say hello.
Yes.
If you say a name, or if you don't say a name, then it has a courtesy to ask what is your name. Okay, so if you go to some bank, okay, Citibank or something,
Yes.
then you'll see that chatbot coming up. Hi, Dhaval, how are you doing?
Yes.
How can I help you? So that is a natural language processing. Okay, now that got kind of up a notch now with generative AI. Now generative AI is something. So before this, what used to happen is we used to teach that you should say hello, you should say hi, you should say bye bye, like that. Okay, now what is happening is we don't teach anything in generative AI. We give it a lot of documents to read. So it's like uh, there is a guy who with me, I don't teach him language, but I give him a lot of books. Go and read these books, and then whatever is there in the books, based on that it gets trained. Oh, if I meet someone, I should say hello. Or if I need someone's help, then I should say, please, can you do this? If someone asks me that how can you do an AI, then if that AI information was there in my book, then I can answer that yes, AI is this. So that is generative AI. Apart from that, there is multimodal AI which is coming up. Multimodal AI is so till now what we have been doing is we have been giving single stream of data. It's like the data is in say some notepad, there is some
Yeah.
data, or you either give an audio, or if you either give a video file. Now what is happening is you give all of three together, okay, and that is called multimodal data, multi-dimensional data. So that now today's system learn from these multi-dimensional data, and they kind of they are becoming more evolving, they are becoming more stronger with that. So that is the current, I think, the most in thing right now in AI.
We got comment from our live audience.
Right.
What is the current limitation of AI?
So there are a lot of limitations. See, AI is never gonna be coming up to human level, and it's hard to quantify. I cannot say the current limitation is say 50 terabytes. I cannot say that it can only do this much computation or this much calculation. Definitely, AI has got some cognitive skills. It has got some ability to make decisions, but it's not, and to some extent it is creative also. Looking at Sora and other things that are coming up now in the market, it can create the content very well, but I would say it is not, there's still long time to be at par with or even close to what a human brain can do. Okay, it's a part of automation, it's not part of creation. Okay.
My second question is that which kind of AI? How many kinds of AI? You said generative AI. Then many.
For their applications, AI is single. Okay, AI is artificial intelligence. Anywhere where you don't use the brain, but a system uses its thinking power. They don't have a brain, but they use thinking power. Okay, which I call it as cognitive skills. So anywhere where this kind of cognitive skills are used for automation, that is AI. Now, generative AI is an application. Then there is segment-wise AI, that you can have healthcare AI, you can have retail AI, you can have financial AI. Okay, so segment-wise AI applications are there. Um, I don't think there is type of AI, but it's more of an application of AI.
So AI is a basically started from data. So my question, we have a question from Facebook. of this online user Saga Parmar is asking you. So can you recommend or valuable online courses for a data scientist? Or can you
Yeah.
share about that?
So definitely you can look up at my profile. John Hopkins University is best if you can get into that. Um, if you can look at Coursera, especially look at courses where Andrew Ng is involved. Andrew Ng is a very well-known name. He used to run his own training company before this, but now he has joined AWS. He's a big name in AI, okay, and he's a very cool, very nice tutor. So if you want to learn from basics, that's a very good option. Helsinki University also has some AI courses, and they are providing online. Apart from that, if you are comfortable with Google or Microsoft or either of the things, then they have their own AI courses and they are free of cost. Start with the free of cost initially, okay, because that kind of helps you to figure out your way forward. You don't want to invest, just go ahead and invest into it, because a lot of expensive things are also there in AI. You don't want to do that, okay. So start with these courses. Coursera is good, EDX is good, Udemy is also good, whatever
Mr.
courses they
Nathan,
have.
can you suggest us more about learning
Yeah,
AI?
yeah. I think I have used Coursera and Udemy both. They do have a lot of classes, and starting with sort of um, I think in terms of sort of skills, you're going to want to look at, Python and R for coding, and then get into sort of the data science basics, because understanding, the sort of overall goals of, machine learning and AI is, as important as sort of the technical tools.
Okay. So my next question from comments.
Right.
What are environmental impact of AI? Like AI, what can impact
AI's environmental impact or environmental
environment's impact on
impact
AI?
on AI?
Yes.
I don't think there is any impact of environment on AI.
Yes.
Okay, technology is technology.
Mm.
Okay, also AI does not cause global warming, to be very honest. Okay, uh, there are there are ways to use AI
Like there are
for the benefit of environment. You can use AI for the benefit of environment, uh, and you can follow me on LinkedIn. I'm going to write things about it. Just a few days back, I had similar discussion on utilization of AI for sustainability in urban environment, and I've written a summary of that on my LinkedIn profile. So there are certain things where AI can be used. Definitely, environment I don't think affects AI in any case.
okay. So my next question is, what is the current key skill and knowledge areas that student or professional should focus on build on career growth in AI?
In AI. So I think so there are so definitely understand this thing that AI, you'll if you want to build a career in AI, you need to embrace technology. You need to know technology to a lot more extent. A lot of people have asked me in past, professional also, that how do they make a career in AI, and they would have gone ahead and started learning Python. Don't jump into Python, and I think Nathan will also agree with me. Don't just go ahead and jump into Python. R is a very good option. If you know, there is a programming language called R, and it's one of the favorite of data scientists. Okay, it's very versatile. I personally like it. I worked on R to a lot extent. So, but apart from that, like, you should learn programming skills in. Um, Even if you are, let's say, you are not. So if you get into engineering, then definitely you are going to come across these things. But even if you are not on the engineering side, let's say you took BCA or MCA, you can still go ahead and learn, because once you know the applications, you can look at, you can learn the language part also, and these language parts you can learn online. Even if you are, let's say, not at all from IT background, okay, the best part of IT is that knowledge in software is not dependent on some course that you take. self-learning is always a good option.
Oh,
So go with the programming skills in Python and all. Go with mathematics and statistics. You should have good mathematics and statistics if you want to build a career in AI. And you should remember those mathematical principles, not in detail, but at a very high level. That how do you implement the averages and mean and median and mode and all that in the data. So I think these three areas, if you can cover, that would help you in starting to build a career with AI.
so we have one more question on YouTube. Can you recommend a specific statistical techniques or algorithm that are particularly useful in your work?
Bayesian algorithms are good to begin with. Okay, Nathan, I've never heard of implementing Bayesian for any of the actual project. Do you know of anything apart from that?
Um,
Regression is good, I
I
guess. Regression is also good. You should learn regression, statistical approaches for that.
I'm not familiar. I don't know a project that uses that one specifically.
Yeah, I mean it's good to learn, but you're not going to implement that in the project. In the project, you'll be more inclined to implement TSNAs, PCAs, all that.
So you mentioned mathematics and statistics. My next question on that: how are mathematics and statistics crucial to AI, and what about the best way to students and improve their skill in these areas?
Yeah, go to school. Be very attentive in your school. Okay. Never miss mathematics class. There are a lot of things we learn in mathematics. We learn integrations, we learn derivations. And as a student, I used to have questions that where am I going to use this? Okay, where am I? What's the implementation of this? Why are we learning all this? But then when you come to AI, a lot of these things you'll start using.
Yes.
Okay, and then for that, you'll have to go back to your standard 11 book or 10th book and figure out what we used to learn in derivation, what we used to learn in integration, how the things are set up for as far as statistics is concerned. Okay, so yeah, I would not pinpoint you go and learn this thing, but calculus, yes, you should know. Algebra, you should know. Okay, these things you should.
I
Yeah,
Yes.
Deval, let me just jump in. A little linear algebra is good.
is good. Yeah,
It's a tough subject, but having sort of a general sense of how matrices can be combined and analyzed is really important for when you've got a lot of variables, sort of managing things in multi dimensions is big. So that'd be another.
and feel free to message Nathan. Is there on my LinkedIn? Ask him, is linear algebra good or logistic regression is good? He'll be able to give you the details.
Yes. You mentioned you describe about mathematical, but what about programming languages? If
Yeah,
you
you go for Python, go for R. Okay, I think Java is good. Nathan, feel free to add if anything else is you think is required.
Yeah, no, I think those are the. I mean, R and Python are the two big ones for me. I like R. I think it's really good to learn for data. Python is certainly more flexible, and in terms of running large projects, on cloud computing, I think Python is really going to give you the most flexibility. But I learned on R and then sort of translated that to Python, which I thought worked fairly well. Um,
So I'll add a short comment, and Nathan, you can wait for me if it is correct or not. But if you are a programmer at heart, okay, or have an experience in programming, go with Python. But if you are a mathematician at heart, you are calculative, you know how to calculate things, then go with R. Okay, that would be much easier for you.
so can you describe entry level jobs for AI for mechanical?
Yeah, so assuming that you go through these things with mathematics and statistics and you have a degree that is related somewhere with AI, or you've done some online course or something, the initial responsibility or a job profile you get is junior data scientist or junior machine learning engineer. um, I think responsibilities I've already talked about. Data scientist is more on the functional side, should know the domain and all that. uh, uh, Machine learning engineer is completely technical side of it. where the person is more required to know programming rather than to make. Okay. There is another that we hire at Arocom is ML Ops engineer. Because nowadays doing these ML things, machine learning things, does not fit into your normal laptops and normal computers. You have to use large computers, large computation machines. So that is available on cloud, and a lot of these systems are available on cloud. So we would want our ML engineers to know how to implement or begin the solution on cloud, like AWS, like Google Cloud, like Azure, something like that. So the person who is knowing the best on where to implement on cloud and how to implement on cloud, that is ML Ops engineers. Okay. And then you even have data QC as an initial position. That person is mainly responsible for creating supervised data sets. So you have a data, and then you need some human kind of a review system where you go through the data and fill in the missing pieces. Okay, so that kind of positions are also there at our company.
We have another question from YouTube. Miss Priyanka Pandya, as AI can swap face and photos or videos, what is a major need to ensure are we need to say?
Oh, are we safe or not?
Yes,
Uh, See,
there are many face deepfake videos or like that.
the fake videos which are coming in, and today I was discussing about this. The concept around this is called ethical AI and responsible AI. Okay. Ethical AI and responsible AI is coming up as a big sort of area, because now what we are seeing is there are a lot of threats to safety, to authenticity of the
Yes,
content. Okay. And I myself, staying in Rajkot, I'm involved with multiple associations who are working towards this ethical AI. Back in 2020, I contributed to the policy making of what the AI should be, although that was limited only to healthcare, that how AI should be implemented and all. And I contributed that in AIH and NIST, which are the institutions in US. They are very premium institutes, and I was part of contributor to tell or to draft the version on what should be done in AI and what should not be done, what should be avoided, or what should be actually enforced within AI policies. So I agree, things are not completely like safe sort of a thing. But as of now, one silver lining in this is that AI, if creates something, it's easy to figure out that this is a deep fake video. Okay, it's not completely authentic. It doesn't look completely authentic. Other than that, more work is required in areas of responsible AI and ethical AI to make sure that we kind of are able to track these kind of things and kind of stop it from getting into mainstream content.
Priyanka, I hope you got your answer. We have another answer for question for Mr. Sagar. How can UX designer collaborate with effectively with data scientist and AI specialist for creating a model?
uh, UX designer.
Yes.
Uh, I would love if UX designer is also a UI developer, because we did some similar kind of thing. And Nathan, if you remember about Pathfinder, we used to have Pathfinder, right? Um,
Yeah.
so we designed a system. So basically, whenever you are creating some sort of an AI algorithm or a system which uses AI, you have people who are called users, people who are using that system. And here we call those users as data scientists. They are the data scientists who are going to use this data, who are going to implement and create algorithms and get the output and all. These people, either data scientists or some other scientists, they may not be um, completely knowing how to manipulate the data or how to manage the data. And for those reasons, we need some sort of a UI interface. We need people who can design a very simple, intuitive, easy to scale interfaces, and then develop them also, because companies are not going to spend a lot if these users are internal users. Okay, then the budget will be very small. But so that's why what we look for is people who can design as well as develop, which we call it as mainly full stack. So that full stack capabilities, if a person has, then definitely that person can get on board and kind of help the team in creating such sort of a UI systems.
We have another question. What is LLM?
Very good question. I was waiting for it after I spoke about Gen AI, large language models. Okay, so if you know about AI a little bit, or if you have tracked AI for a few years, you would have seen that there are companies like Google and Microsoft which come up with their AI. And if you remember, there was computer vision. It could detect some sort of objects. It could detect cats and dogs in the images. Okay, so for that they created some models, and those models are available open source. So if I want to say, I take a picture of this and I want to detect faces, how many faces are there in the picture around, then I just have to take a model called OpenCV, use it and detect the and give that, pass that image to OpenCV, and it will detect the faces in that image. This is open source modeling. Now shift the gears, move to generative AI. Generative AI is dependent on the model which is created after giving it the details of various documents, various content or resources, let's say simple web pages, thousands and millions of web pages on the internet. LLM takes, so LLM is built around this kind of data, and generative AI makes use of this LLM models or large language models to create a Gen AI based assistant on top of it. Right now, there are a lot of players in LLMs. These LLMs are created based on the documentation. There are specific posts for this LLM engineers, highly paid post right now, and um, things like Chat GPT or Gemini or Anthropic Claude, they all use some sort of an LLM on the background. Even other companies are creating their own private LLMs. So these LLM is basically the model which is underlying generative AI.
Okay. We have a question from our team.
Yeah,
Can
please.
you ask?
My question is, as we want to create generative AI faces, so there is a database which stores the data. So, is there any other database other than PHP, MySQL, or AWS, which is safe as user fears that my data will get lost or it will get wired? So, is there any other database?
Well, in the first case, I think AWS is not something that you'll get lost. In fact, AWS database might be the safest bet. Okay, since it's on cloud, it's easily recoverable.
Yes.
Very first thing. Second thing is, it depends. So you cannot have the database just on the basis that it does not get lost. There are a lot of parameters around it. Okay, so the scale of the data, what kind of data it is, whether it's a structured data, whether it's unstructured data, are you storing it? So those, depending on those things, you can figure out. My personal suggestion is use Redshift. Okay, use Athena is also fine. Okay, MySQL, I don't mind using it. uh, Generative AI is not gonna learn face as a whole. It learns face as bits and pieces, pixelates. Okay, so it will not be able to track that where this is coming from. So your data is safe in that way. But if you are looking from archival standpoint, go with cloud. That's a better option.
And for cloud, is there any option other than AWS? Or
Yeah, you go for Azure. Azure is good. HP and IBM are also coming up big time in this space. Just last, no, beginning this week, they had HP had a good kind of show around their generative AI and cloud capabilities. So you can Google that. HP is also coming up nice in that
because
option.
in regular studies for DCMs or whatever, PHP MySQL database is the first replacement for. So people
You
are
can
looking for.
start with, but it does not have the scale. PHP MySQL does not have the scale. You cannot, I wouldn't suggest for unstructured images or
Right.
videos or anything. It's very,
Okay.
it's meant for structured data, small data. Okay, typically if I look at images data, and if you want to create a generative AI around it, you'll need data that can be at the scale of say 500 terabytes. Okay, and definitely MySQL will crash with that.
We have another question from Facebook. Mr. Chaman Chamanlal. He is a mechanical engineer from BITS, passed in 1979. Can he learn in AI now? Please.
1979 is, sir, you are very experienced, and I appreciate the fact that at this age he wants to learn. Okay, a lot of us lose the ability to learn after maybe 30-35 years. Okay, and at this age, if he is having the enthusiasm, sheer enthusiasm, I would congratulate him and say that yes, you can go for it. Okay, AI is for everyone. Everyone can learn it. Everyone can implement it. Okay. You just need to know certain things like how data works, how to visualize the data, how to analyze the data, and some programming skills around Python and R.
My next question is, what is different between data and information AI?
So think about this way: for an AI, everything is data. Okay. Now, information is something that we convert or we deduce from a data. Okay, I give you data which is in binary, you will get no information. But I convert the same binary into a normal language, you will find information. But for computer, it is the same thing. Okay, so everything that we feed is data. Okay, it's the information comes from person like data scientist, like Nathan. Okay, he gives you the information from data. Okay, so I don't think that we should get confused into information and data for from the AI standpoint. Everything is data.
And the what is data set is context free AI. Data
Data
set.
set, anything, the grouping, the entire set of data that you get is data set. Simple, as the name suggests. So I might get, let's say, purchase transactions by a company for last 20 years. Okay, and that contains, say, 100,000 records. Right? That's a data set. Okay. Now, typical data set range between the size of few GBs. In the areas that we work, we process data which is in petabytes. Okay, and petabytes is what, like 1000 GB is 1 TB, 1000 TB is 1 PB, and we process hundreds of petabytes of data when we are creating models for large companies.
In AI, what is machine learning?
So machine learning is a part of AI. Okay, so machine learning, think about it that AI has multiple pieces, and the technology piece of it, pure technology piece of it, is machine learning.
Another question
I have
from
another question. What is difference between QA and QC? As analysis is done on the basis of checking.
Can you expand? QA means what? QA is quality
Analyst,
assurance,
analyst, quality assurance, quality
quality
analyst,
analyst, and
analyst and
QC,
quality checker.
quality checker. I don't see I have come across this quality checker kind of a profile, but quality checker person might be just looking at. So I was talking about this the spotter kind of a position that we have, right? The person who's creating supervised data. So let's say that person created the supervised data. I can give it to QC. Okay, that person is going to check. He's going to take random samples from the data. He's going to check whether this is as per the company norms or not. Okay, but quality analyst is somebody who looks into my engineer's work. If he created a Python script, okay, and is that Python script working as per my instruction or as per company's instruction, that person is a quality analyst. Okay,
He,
checker is like spot checking.
he is checking from the backend side. QA
Everybody might be doing from backend. Everybody might be doing from backend,
analyst is
but analyst is the person who's looking at the algorithm, and QC is the person who's looking at the data. Okay, if a data supervised data is as per the norms or not, is the duty of QC. But the algorithm, which algorithm doing what it is supposed to do or not, that is QA.
And
any.
there's also
Yes,
some
yes. Sorry.
there's also some quality checks to be done, sort of before doing the modeling. Um,
Sorry, I think it got dropped off.
So, next question to come from you.
Nathan, yeah,
yeah.
you were saying something.
Oh yeah, I was just saying that there's quality checking to be done before feeding the data to the model. So for example, we got a bunch of gene sequencing data, and we noticed that there were essentially two sets with sort of some slightly different features, and that related to different batches we got the data from. So there was some, you know, quality checks to be done there to normalize the data to make it usable. Um,
Yeah.
Okay.
Is
Thank you.
there any work for front end developer in AI?
Not from the AI standpoint, but to design, like I was saying earlier, design a
UI UX.
system, UI UX, then that makes sense. But front end, there is no AI right now. AI is completely back end.
We have next question from you. What are the implementation of AI that enhancing human creativity?
That enhances human creativity. I think human creativity is unique, and nobody can enhance human creativity. AI can learn similar things like human creativity. It can create something which no human has created. But understand this, it is still creating on the bedrock of human art abilities, okay, or human content creation ability. Bedrock is still there. Okay. So I think AI we shouldn't look at AI from the standpoint of how it will enhance human creativity, but we should look at it from the standpoint of how AI will fill in the gaps which are there in human creativity.
We have a question from Tim.
You name it, I'll tell you. You look at customer segmentation, you can do retail customer recommendation, you can do chatbots or assistants, you can do anything that we can do which is more of a mundane task. Mundane, you understand, the normal day to day task, and you want the human to be out of it. Okay, then you can automate it using AI. Right now AI is there in almost every business domain. Every business domain. I'll give you an example, especially from my and Nathan's favorite drug discovery part. uh, there are chemical compounds which define what medicine we should do. Now till now these were kind of done trial and error basis, where clinical trials are set up and humans are given those pills, medicines. Okay, and we see they tell that, okay, I had a headache, I feel vomiting, like that. Or somebody would say, oh, I feel great and my pain has gone, like that. Now a lot of these things were we are doing on computer. Okay, so there are AI models that we have deployed for our customers, where we can identify chemical compound without chemistry lab, without even mixing the chemicals, without even knowledge of chemistry. Okay, so those models can tell that you have to mix actually this compound, you have to create this kind of a molecular structure, and that molecular structure will be used in, if used in this disease, then this person will get benefit. This concept is called personalized medicine. Imagine you're going to the doctor and he is giving you a medicine that is specific for Dhaval Madaliya. Okay, this is the level that we have implemented already in US. So right, so think about where it cannot be. It can be done anywhere, everywhere.
We have another.
Can it replace human? No, it cannot replace human. As I mentioned, creativity still lies with the human brain. Okay, to find chemical compounds using computational chemistry is something that a human found, right? AI cannot say you can do this. So AI is more like, go, I'll tell to AI, go ahead and do this, then it will do it. But it will not be able to find out what to do or how to do. That's where human still is there.
We
For
have another.
banking or any other websites, is there any other scope of AI for them other than chatbot?
Well, I can create websites just by AI. I don't need a developer. Okay,
For
to
customers,
begin with,
for
to
customers,
begin with, yeah. See, you can do customer analysis. Uh, I have some interns right now at my company, and they are creating a system in AI which can predict the outcome of a marketing campaign. That if they will reach out to this kind of customer, will they get a business from them or not? Okay.
For specifically saying banking or any other sector, is there any other option other than chatbot for them?
So that's what I'm saying. Forget chatbot. You can figure out that a marketing campaign, how would this marketing campaign be responsive to me?
But that is for second set. But as a customer, if I'm using my net banking website
Or
or
as a customer, do
customer,
I see anything which is there
yes.
in AI? I think no. So there are two things. One is
Because for that,
B2C,
that is considered as a limitation.
one is B2C, one is B2B.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I was talking about to you was B2B. Now in B2C section is unlimited. Okay. From customer standpoint, a bank's website can actually suggest me the product based on my behavior. Okay. So that is AI. Okay. I can interact with bank through chatbot. I am not, as a customer, I don't care whether it's chatbot or whether it's the person.
Live person.
I should get a solution. So to use AI or not is in purview of bank, not the customer. And bank can use it for a lot of things, from product suggestion to chatbot to identifying marketing campaigns, lot of those things.
Anyone else?
How will AI, by the way, affect the job market in terms of not getting jobs?
In terms of not getting jobs. So that is going a lot of, it's very in thing right now. People are thinking that AI is going to replace human jobs, and there are a lot of layoffs which are happening in US, and they
Yes.
are attributing it to AI. So this thing happened even years back when we had machines coming up, automation coming up in industries, car industry or auto industry, lot of jobs, because a lot of those things were handled by robotic things. Even in the 19th century, when industrial revolution came, a lot of people lost the jobs. So is AI a revolution like this? Definitely, it is a revolution. AI is the third most important part in G7's discussion. I hope everybody knows G7,
Yes.
the convention that happened last week
Yes.
in Italy. The third important agenda for world's 20 biggest economies was AI. So you can think of that, how big the revolution it is. Is it going to affect the job? AI is not going to take away your job, but some person knowing AI will take away your job. Okay. So you know AI before the other person understands and knows AI. Learn the usage of AI. If you can, if you have the capacity and possibility, learn how to implement AI. Okay. But AI is gonna come into everyone's life
My
as we
next question
progress.
is related to this. What is the future trend AI and how should professional or student prepare for it?
So future trend, you are going to see something like as edge AI. So right now AI is heavy. There are a lot of huge models that are getting created, but it is getting democratized. So if you follow Chat GPT, if you follow these open AI solutions, gradually the rates of they are coming down and the size of the model is increasing. So it's going to be accessible to most of the people as we progress along. But there will be a point of time where this model needs to be delivered on devices, okay, like your phones, like your smartwatches. So that portion or that part of AI, we call it as edge AI, to deploy the models on the edge devices. So that edge AI is the new thing right now. AI in healthcare is very new. And then the third part is what I was talking about earlier, responsible AI and ethical AI. This is the new part. So there are a lot of things that are going to happen in this. And I'm going to speak about responsible and ethical AI in Dubai by year end. You can maybe follow that. Uh, the agenda of that talk is how to make sure there are a lot of AI initiatives going around across the countries. Okay, so you see that US is coming up with something, then Europe is coming up with something, India has something. There are a lot of models which are coming up, but there is no framework, a common framework beyond which we can enforce that AI should not be misused. So that I'm going to speak. So that is also an upcoming trend on responsible and ethical.
Mr. Nathan, can you add something more on that? What is the preparation we need for future related to AI?
Yeah, I mean, I think getting familiar with it and learning how to use the tools, so even something as simple as learning how to use the currently available tools to sort of augment your own programming. So like Deval said, they're not necessarily going to replace programmers, but programmers who learn, how to use these tools to sort of improve their own workflow and productivity are going to have an advantage.
We have a question from Nathan.
Yeah.
Yes, automation software testing is also available, like Selenium or Kotlin. Is the AI which can replace automation testing?
Not completely replace, but definitely augment. Okay. Uh, Take for an example, you want to test a website. Okay. You can make the AI learn how to test a website,
But it
and
can it uses human brain as what commands I will give, it will test only that.
no. So anything that you give the command is an algorithm. Okay. So that's a different thing. That's not AI. AI is something where you tell how you have tested till now, and then it learns on its own. Okay. So that is AI. That can be done. So that testing, you'll see some features in Selenium are also there with which captures AI in its usage. So there, gradually there will be part of that testing that AI will kind of penetrate, but not completely replace, because testing is a very thoughtful
Mind
process in mind game, exactly. So that mind game AI cannot play, right?
We have another question. Beside AI, which is what is the emerging technology we should young professional and student focus on stay ahead evolution in technology?
So, very good question. Beside AI, I think there are a lot of technologies which are coming up or are already there in the market. Like I talked about data engineering and cloud computing. But beyond that, something which I'm sure a lot of you might not have heard about is quantum computing. Um, Back in 2019, we started working on quantum computers. So that's almost 5 years now, and the benefit of quantum computers was at that time was it was super fast. Okay, it's exponentially fast compared to a normal server that we have. We don't use it for say installing applications or anything, but that is used. Quantum computers are used for computation power. So let's say in AI, I'm gonna analyze or I'm gonna create a model using very large data. Okay, the data is in say petabytes. If I give it to my laptop, my laptop will die in just 5 minutes. If I give it to a server on cloud, that will take years to process. If I give to supercomputer, it will tell me I'll take 3 years to process the data and give you an output. So that's too much. Beyond that, what we have is quantum computers. So even beyond supercomputers, there are quantum computers. And in 2019, we didn't have access to this quantum computer. We used to process this data on one of the university's uh, computer. Now we have access to quantum computers. There are a lot of players in the market which create SDKs, and there are lots of players in the market which kind of on whose platform we can rent out the quantum computers, and that helps us in expediting all the model creation processes, all training and testing processes for AI. And we are going to come up with some small program where we will spread awareness about quantum computing, and also train some of the resources, because right now there are very few people who are available who have the knowledge on quantum computing. And to give you a scale, it's in a huge demand, especially outside India, for this role, who can perform quantum computing and who can uh, kind of augment along with the AI team, who can fit in those programs in quantum computer and get the results. So that position, people are looking for, companies are looking for, like Volkswagen has a very good open position on quantum engineers. There are a lot of other large companies which have those opening positions on quantum engineers, and we are going to fit in that role as the time progresses. And me and Nathan, we are going to participate in one of the quantum computing challenge also, coming up in next month. So I would suggest quantum computing is something that you should keep in your radar, and definitely look forward to that technology.
When engineering graduates, what is the benefit of being early nerds in quantum computing?
Well, imagine that let's say a person who's aspiring to come into AI, and he enrolls in say 2 year post graduation course on AI somewhere. If that person knows quantum computing the moment he is out after his post graduation, so he will take around 2 years to also learn his course which is AI, and he'll take probably 6 months 7 months to learn quantum computing. Once he comes out, he faces no competition against the demand that we have right now. He can get around 30-40% more package, salary package. He can even get work staying here itself, because companies are willing to even give that kind of job to people in India, even if the work is in US, okay, or even if the work is in Europe, because everywhere in the world right now there is a shortage of quantum computing engineers. So it will be a huge boost to anyone who's kind of looking for a career in AI and technologies.
Anyone else?
How AI is useful for IoT, or what does IoT and AI
I
do?
would say the other way around. IoT is much useful for AI, okay, because uh, IoTs have the capability of generating data, and AI kind of feeds on data. Okay, AI is more robust, more intelligent if he has more data, and the combination of IoT and AI is going to create smart homes, smart cities. Everything will be smart. So together, they both technologies are pretty good.
So, for learning perspective, is IoT easy, or for going into AI so preliminary that Python
Well,
and
I think nothing is easy as such, but IoT is a little bit expensive.
IoT is taught, and for Python you have to go for master degree. So IoT
Right.
is taught in earlier stages. So why is it so?
Well, that the university might be able to comment. I don't know why is it so. But IoT, see, it's a human perception. When you have tangible things, you get diverted towards it. And IoT has tangible things. I can talk about AI, but I cannot show you Dutch. This is AI, right? IoT, I can show you and touch. You can touch that. This is
You can
IoT.
feel it.
You can feel, and
It's
that's
a
what.
magic.
Yeah,
It's a
that's what
magic in
you
IoT.
feel like.
Yeah.
It's magic. But trust me, IoT will not produce huge jobs for you right now. It will not produce huge salary for you, okay, because IoT is good, but IoT's application is expensive, so it will take its time, because even if a company wants to get something into IoTs, it has to invest in that hardware, right? So that will take its own sweet time. But AI company, if I want to implement AI, they have to just invest in people like us. We come into the company in 6 months, they are AI. Okay, that's not the case with IoTs. So IoT is slow and it will take its own path to reach to this level. By that time, I don't know, AI along with quantum computing, that will be above Clyde 9.
Next question for sorry, Nathan. How do AI handle big data, and what is the challenge for that?
I'm sorry. I didn't quite hear that.
How does AI handle big data, and what is the challenges for that?
Um, so I think the the challenge is sort of the infrastructure. So setting up like compute clusters and getting familiar with you know stuff like PySpark to you know run compute on simultaneous threads. Um, just because as Deval said, these are not computations that you can run on one machine, even a large one. Um, so
Yes.
really the infrastructure needed to use this data is more complex.
Yeah. So, Mr. Dhal, my question is to you. Tell me
Yep.
something about cloud.
Cloud technologies.
Yes.
Cloud technologies have been there for long. Um, right now, you see players like AWS, GCP, Azure, Microsoft. They are all kind of gaining momentum on a lot of these services on cloud. Basically, for performing anything, you need to hire computation power. You need to hire storage power. Where you will store the data? How will you compute? How will you process? um, how will you deploy? So uh, take for an example, you go to Google Play Store on your Android phone, you are getting the app downloaded on your machine. Now where is this app being stored? Okay. Is that app in somebody's house, in a computer? If that was the case, if that guy shuts down his computer, what would happen? You'll just see a kind of circling around and not be able to download it. No, these things are there on multiple servers, and these servers are continuously connected with the internet. There could be one server in India, there could be one server in Singapore, there could be one server in US, in Europe somewhere. Okay, so independent of where you are, today you are here, tomorrow let's say you are in Ukraine fighting the war, okay, then you would still want to have the access to download your apps. You can still do it. Well, this is coming from cloud. Cloud means that all of those services that you could do on your PC, or on the higher end servers, you should be able to have that access. You should be able to have that access to computation or processing power, the storage power. If you have access anywhere in the world, that is being delivered to you through cloud.
So my next question is, what AI can do work for a social cause or like NGOs and like other authorized?
It can do a lot of things. It can do a lot of things. See, uh, it depends on what might be your use case. As I mentioned that AI, or I'll be coming up with that in few days because I'm writing that right now. But the effect of AI on climate change, or effect of AI on how you can kind of make the sustainability feasible for an urban development setup. Okay, those things AI can figure out. AI can identify the energy usage. I'll give you an example. Um if there is a smart city, AI can actually democratize the entire energy usage across the city. Maybe we are not using it right now, but AI can actually predict the energy usage during different parts of the year. AI can actually take into account those houses which may not be so very well equipped with energy usage, and can suggest how they can be made more energy efficient. Okay, so there are a lot of things that can be done. It depends on what NGOs end use might be. It can do, let's say there is some NGO which is rescuing animals. Okay, you take your drone. Okay, you fly it at a high of 2,500 feet, and the video feed that is coming in can actually identify an animal which is in danger. Okay, if you train the AI to do it. Now, do you need a dependency on somebody else calling you? No, you can figure out. You can send your drone over there, you can send your person over there, can take the right respective action.
But it is actually face detection only, no?
It's a not face but object detection.
Object detection.
Object detection.
But it can get from that feet, or is there any limitation of meters or any like that?
And so I told you 2,500 feet from the fact that you can cover large area. So AI is not dependent on the feet. What AI needs is resolution. So if your camera has that resolution, then AI can take it. But if your camera does not have the resolution, that it may not be able to go beyond 100 or 200 feet. So you'll need good camera to capture that. And right now there are some applications which are doing it. In some countries, they are managing traffic through drones. Okay, so there are drones which can capture what is the actual blockade in the traffic and can take the action accordingly.
My another question is, like for developing applications, there are different ways. Like for Android, we need Android developers, and for iOS, we need iOS developers. But to combine both, we have got Flutter. So, is there anything for AI which requires two for Android and iOS
so AI is a back-end technology. Uh, we do not develop apps. When we are doing AI, we practically do not develop apps. What we do is we create model, and then there are Android developers or iOS developers
Or
who
Flutter.
who or Flutter developers who can take that model and use it.
But
So the role of the Flutter or iOS developer remains the same.
yeah, but for backend, is there any two option or whatever model you
No, no, no,
create
no,
is
no.
for
Model is independent, whether it's iOS, whether it's Android, it's independent of.
and for Nathan also data is same or is you need to describe it different.
No, data is same for all, the entire team. In a project, the data is going to be same for everyone.
Right.
Okay, there is no change to it. So everything from data to analysis to model creation to deployment, the team looks at the same set of tools, the same set of engagements in that. But once the model is created, how to serve that model, okay, that depends on whether if it is on Android, then you need Android developer. If it is served on iOS, then you need iOS, or if it is Flutter, then that.
But if Android is providing different data and iOS is providing different data, so there are some
No, data is data. So that data might be you have some sort of APIs, REST APIs which are coming in. REST APIs are sending in say dat files or something like that. So the data comes in. That is fine. So we don't differentiate the input. Only the end deployment is different for Android iOS.
Anybody else? We have a question on YouTube. They asking you, sir, I want to build a website called Blind Based. So basically, he want to share data from without showing identity.
I'm still not getting. What does he want to do?
He is building a website called Blind Based Train, which is share data from one person to other, one user to another user, which is without showing their identity.
Without showing their identity. Okay. So what is the question?
The, yeah, how they can start building.
You can start building. So it's a website where you store the data sets. There is a website called NIMH. You might want to take a look at it or take a reference from it, what kind of site it is. There are also other data sites which we use, and if you Google it, you'll find it apart from NIMH. But you can create it. You don't have to show your identity when you are downloading the data. So it depends. It depends. Some places where people want is if they own the data, they would want to know who's taking it. Okay, and then there are some places where people don't want to know who's taking the data. It's open source. Okay, so you can take a reference from NIMH or something. That would be easier.
We have another question from YouTube. How can AI technology leverage it to enhance operational with NGOs focused on supporting who is disabled to end user? Who is NGOs focused on supporting disabled individuals?
Disabled end users. Now you still
Individuals, sorry. Individuals.
Disabled individuals. I would say specially abled individuals definitely can make use of AI. One of the app which is there, I wouldn't name the app right now, but it's there. You can Google it. It's helping people with visually impaired challenges. It is helping those people to find directions. It's helping those people to find. So there is an earpiece. It creates different sounds, and based on that, the person is taught. Visually impaired person is taught what those sounds mean. And how does it generate those sounds? Is from the fact that it kind of sees an object within some sort of a range. So there is a range defined. Based on that range, if some object comes in, then there is some sort of a sound being played. It might be a message, might be a simple beep or something. But a person, visually impaired person, is taught, and that way that app is helping people. Apart from that, in healthcare and medical industry, there is a lot of applications. People who have got whose eyes have been damaged or hearing has been damaged, there are some apps to kind of diagnose those kind of situations and all. But depending on the end use or end application, I think anybody who is a specially abled person can get help in terms of from AI.
Anyone else asking questions? Nathan, you want to something add on that?
Um, so that's not something I have a ton of experience with.
Okay. Anyone else question? Yes.
I was watching a movie last night that was Social Network. It's based on Mark Zuckerberg. In that movie that they was showing that Mark Zuckerberg was a total nerd and he was just outsider from everybody. And so in this field, everyone is like him for
No, you're kind of asking if we are in AI, are we all nerds or not? Yeah, we are. No, no feeling shy about it. Okay, we are technologists. The word you use, nerd, I use it a little bit respectfully. We are all technologists. Okay, I would say if you are in AI or want to be in AI, you can do it if you embrace technology. If you are not from the technical side or if you are not inclined towards technology, rather take the option of being a domain expert on business side. Okay, but if you want to put some place in AI, definitely you need to be a technologist.
also in that movie, I seen that Mark uh, for Facebook, he created a other website. There was he was using the kind of same thing that matches the faces and then users can see the comparison. So is it AI model or just random?
I wouldn't know that. The first thing is I haven't seen the movie. Okay. The second thing is in movie you can show anything, even if it is AI, if it is not. Okay, because it's fiction.
Yeah,
Okay,
from that
so I can build a movie and I can show that there is an AI is able to create a human being. Okay, there was Rajnikant's movie like that, right? Robot 2. Do we really create those robots? No, we are not able to create those robots. That's not the technology which is available, but in movie you can show. So I wouldn't know if it is AI or not. To answer your question, it whether face matching, can you do it with AI? Yeah, you can do it with AI. OpenCV, the model that is there, open source for facial detection, actually identifies face based on 60 points. Now 80 points. Okay, so there are 80 points which are defined on the face, the placement of which defines that this is a face or not. If it can define a face based on it, then definitely it can match 80 and 80 points. Right? So it can check the faces. So possible, but I'm not sure like it is in a movie it can do or not. That I can't answer.
We have a question.
add on that, I have another question from I seen a news article that saying many Hollywood studios are replacing a background artist into with AI models. So it is it a
So you have to
threat or
explain me what is background artist doing.
for example we have this scene movie scene right in front of us we have our main actor and in the background many people are walking doing
Oh, you
something
mean to say those background artists which are the, you can actually, yeah, you can do it with AI. You can do it. AI will be able to generate the content. Okay, and with the green screen, you'll place the actor in front of it.
that's that's the thing it is happening right but
Right.
is it right or wrong are background artists being replaced with
Well, what I would say
computer
is,
generated movies
what I would say is that everything has a limit. I wouldn't comment whether it's right or wrong. Companies are doing it what are in the benefit of their organization. Uh, I think they should not. I wouldn't support those kind of things though personally. But yes, they can do it. They will not do it. That won't be something that will be 100% replaced, but definitely some 10-20 percentage of the scenes might have those background artists that can get replaced.
from add on that so here we right now I think we have no laws to use in when when certain laws are entered and put limitations on usage of artificial intelligence, when we can see that as your
Well, it has already started. If you remember, 3 or 4 months back, there was some sort of publishing by AI by Indian government, especially to track down those deep fake AIs. Okay, and then there was some initial kind of a preparation of how to kind of limit. So, so basically, what government is doing is, if you are going to create some sort of a model, you'll have to first inform us that you are going to create this kind of model. So that is the first step towards it. Apart from that, it's a worldwide issue. I told you that in G7, the third biggest agenda is AI, and then responsible and ethical AI. I'm going to speak about this. So gradually, it's kind of catching up everyone's attention. As we progress along, people are going to see. Our prime minister has not been spared from creating deep fakes. Okay, so anybody's deep fake can be created, and such kind of a threat definitely needs to be regulated, controlled, and enforced upon. So that thing will come, I'm sure. But even everybody else in the world is learning. AI is pretty new, and it is pretty new for us also on how to regulate, how to enforce such things, how to understand that somebody, if is coming with deep fake right now, what other things can it come up with. Okay, so gradually that framework will come along.
We had a question from him.
Yeah.
How is
Oh, I'm
AI
sorry.
helpful in payment get? Sorry, Nathan is.
Yeah, Nathan, go ahead.
Dhaval, sorry, I just wanted to let you know I got to run, but thank you so much for having me.
Thank
It
you,
was
Nathan.
it's a pleasure.
Thank you, Nathan, for having us.
Thank you, Nathan.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Yeah, please.
How is AI helpful in payment gateway like PayPal or SFA, which I used in payment gateway?
I don't know if they really want to implement AI. It's such a simple task to do the
Yeah, but
payment
is
gateway.
there any requirement for them in future? Are there any scopes for them?
I would say rather than AI, or they may use AI in that area, it's more of a cyber security question. Okay, so you may use AI in cyber security. In decryption, you can use, in encryption, you can use. So those areas they can use. But directly, do they need right now AI? Is AI going to enhance their way of doing processing the payment? No, AI is not going to radically enhance that. It's already in a good place right now. It's in a good way that they are kind of doing payment processing.
So, how is AI helpful in data encryption and data decryption?
Well, that depends. Data encryption, definitely AI can be useful. Right now, some of the startups are chasing behind to create encrypted data based on AI. The primary benefit, prima facie, is you are not using some known algorithm for it. So
It
that
is totally
itself is
different.
a big security,
Unique. It's
unique
unique.
security.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if there are two models, okay, and based on the model signature, you do an encryption, then model signs it,
Signature.
right? Based on the signature, the other part of the model can decrypt, can know what kind of a
What encryption is being done
encryption is
by
being
him?
used, right? So you have two edge devices. Between that, there is a model on this side, there is a model, same model on this side. Then the way of encryption is robust. Okay, nobody knows what is being used over there. So they can use SHA-26 or anything that they want. Okay, but if I don't know, I am the third
What has been
party,
encrypted or
I
decrypted?
cannot decrypt.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. So, can you give a message for our audience? What for?
I think in a nutshell, what I would want to say is AI is an emerging technology. Okay, anybody can learn AI. You need some sort of a guidance around it. So I tried to add some things over here. I gave you a thing that you can go to Coursera, you can go to these things. Additionally, I would add that you can go to Kaggle, which is a very nice resource in terms of learning AI. You can go to HackerRank or other hackathons which are doing. If you're already on the technical side, you can use that. But do pursue this technology. This technology is gonna be life and blood in coming years. and you will compete with people who know technology, who know AI, and somebody who doesn't know AI. So definitely look forward towards it. Along with AI, there are a couple of other technologies that I mentioned. So data engineering, cloud computing, and especially quantum computing. Google it, start looking at it. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'm there on LinkedIn, and I can answer if you have any questions. But definitely pursue this technology. It's gonna be helping you shape up your career in future. Okay, that's all I wanted to
Another
say.
question is, as all IH hackathons, so in that they have a sort of time that we have to complete the task in a certain time. So in that process, is AI helpful? Because even
Oh
in
yeah,
AI, they have
yeah.
to use their mind.
AI is helpful if you are creating a content in that process. So your project report, you can give it to ChatGPT and create it. Okay. In hackathon also, if you are going to create some content, give it to ChatGPT and let it do it. Okay. You do the smart work. Let AI do the hard work. Okay. So that's a good message today. Do the smart work. Let AI do the hard work.
They can write the comment on LinkedIn also.
Yeah. You can write instead of typing. You can just say that ChatGPT, I saw and this kind of a thing. What question should I ask? And it will come up with a question. Okay. Yeah. All right. Nice.
Thank you, Mr. Dhaval,
Thank
for
you.
sorry.
So you are saying after 1 year, it could be a possibility that ChatGPT is taking the interviews.
Oh, that's a very good point that you mentioned. We created a system for one of our clients where we automated the entire interview process. So so right now, how interview happens right now is
This process is done past few years ago itself, I think.
how.
Through AI only itself.
Okay, so let me just say what I was saying, and then you can say if it is different or not. So how the interview process happens right now is you submit the CV. So there is a job description that is being created. That job description comes on some sort of a job site. You submit the CV. That CV goes to the HR. HR reviews it. It shortlists some 100 resumes, and those 100 resumes get further filtered down to 50, 40. And those 40, they start calling or writing emails that we want to conduct interviews. Those interviews get scheduled. The person takes the interview, and then he writes down something whether the person needs to move forward or not, and that goes to the senior person for the second round and all that. For the system that we develop for this kind of activity for our client, they write JD, job description. Job description gets uploaded to some place. Okay, the AI system reads the entire job description, finds the person. Okay, that person communicates with the person. That person applies on that based on job description. He gives the resume. AI matches the resume whether this person is feasible to move forward or not. So till now there is no human intervention. Whether he is feasible or not, the AI system chats with the person that are you available today 5:30 p.m. for an interview. The person says yes or no. Okay. At 5:30 p.m., AI takes the interview of the person. There is no human being. So there is video and there is an assistant which is shown. So the person gives the interview. Okay. AI can actually transcribe the entire interview in writing. It can actually navigate itself whether if a person is answering question correctly, can I go deeper and ask a tough question? Can I go further deeper and ask tough questions? So it can take those decisions. Okay. It can not only check your technical knowledge, but it can check your soft skills, your communication skills, your problem solving skills, your aptitude, based on the combination that is predefined. That I have a weightage of say 10% on soft skills, 10% on communication. So it can check all those things. It can identify if this candidate is right or not, and can pass or fail the candidate without any human intervention. So before doing this, that company used to process about 80 to 90 resumes and 40 interviews in a month. Now it can do that in a day, in just one day. So the amount of computation, the amount of possibilities that it is increasing, okay, in terms of hiring the right candidate,
Earlier it
that
was
is
just
immense.
predefined questions.
Predefined. Now, no, this AI is, that's what AI has to be intelligent, right? So So it is intelligent enough to figure out that suddenly if you are answering Python questions correctly, then I can now go ahead and ask him modeling questions. Now I can go ahead and ask him something deeper inside modeling. If that person said correctly on the CNN, then I should ask RNN. But if that person did not cover CNN, then I should actually ask something on autoencoders. It can take those decisions.
Is there any technology for supermarkets as we have seen in videos? If the
Retail,
person,
yes, retail there is, yes, definitely retail can do lot of AI, lots of AI.
Okay, anyone else? So thank you, Mr. Dhaval, for joining
Alright.
us.
Thank you, Karuna Foundation, Mittal bhai. Thank you very much for inviting me here and taking this time, and I really appreciate his help. Be looking forward for many more sessions like
Yes.
this, and I really enjoyed this.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.